When we think of urban water infrastructure, we typically picture the massive, visible scale of clean water entering a city. But beneath the pavement lies an equally massive, hidden, and highly complex network dedicated to moving wastewater out. Before a single pipe is laid, engineers must answer the baseline question that dictates all urban planning: exactly how much sewage will a city produce on any given day? Overestimating output carries heavy financial consequences. Guessing too high leads to bloated capital expenditures on unnecessarily massive pipes that waste public funds. Conversely, underestimating causes systemic failure. Excess volume forces raw sewage up through street grates, causing catastrophic flooding. This creates the core paradox of wastewater engineering. You cannot directly measure the future sewage output of a neighborhood that has not been built yet. To solve this, engineers calculate the output inversely. Instead of trying to measure the wastewater at the end of the line, they analyze the precise volume of clean water going in. This inverse calculation uses the city's water input to define the mass balance of its waste flow. Preventing urban infrastructure failure requires engineers to track every drop of the municipal water supply from the moment it enters the city limits to accurately predict the final sewage baseflow. Building an accurate baseflow model requires mapping exactly where that municipal water goes once it enters the city. Here we have a representation of LPCD. LPCD stands for liters per capita per day, the standard engineering metric used to quantify the average daily water demand of a single person. These baselines are not universal. They scale depending on the region's size, living standards, and plumbing infrastructure. In India, for example, the specific standard is 135 LPCD for urban areas equipped with existing sewerage systems. We can apply this metric to a standard case study by calculating the total water supply for a hypothetical city of 100,000 residents. Multiplying that population of 100,000 by 135 LPCD yields a total daily input of 13.5 MLD. MLD stands for million liters per day, the standard unit for measuring large-scale municipal water flow. This Sankey diagram illustrates where that volume goes, showing the single 13.5 MLD input stream splitting into 4 primary urban sectors that consume the supply. The first and largest stream is domestic wastewater. Commonly referred to as sanitary sewage, this flow is generated by routine household activities, like bathing, laundry, and toilet flushing. The second stream is commercial wastewater, originating from hotels, markets, and restaurants. This sector typically contributes significantly higher grease and organic loads to the system. The third stream is institutional wastewater. While this includes schools and government buildings, it specifically accounts for hospitals, where the runoff requires special handling to manage medical contaminants. The fourth stream is industrial wastewater, generated by manufacturing and food processing plants. Because it often contains toxic chemicals, these facilities frequently require on-site pre-treatment before their runoff is legally permitted to join the municipal flow. While these 4 distinct sectors consume the entire 13.5 MLD municipal supply, the actual volume of sewage they excrete back into the subterranean pipes is significantly less. If 13.5 million liters of water are supplied to a city, significantly less than 13.5 million liters will actually reach the sewer system. The mass balance equation must account for specific losses. The first is direct biological consumption by humans and animals, water permanently removed from the infrastructure loop. The second loss is evaporation. Water used on exposed surfaces, like urban parks or thermodynamic cooling systems, simply vaporizes into the atmosphere. The third loss is systemic leakage. A fraction of the supply escapes through microscopic faults in pressurized municipal distribution pipes before ever reaching a consumer. The fourth loss is ground absorption. Water used for agricultural irrigation or municipal landscaping infiltrates the soil rather than flowing into a drain. The fifth loss is the physical volume of water embedded into manufactured industrial products and subsequently transported out of the city limits. Returning to our diagram, we see these 5 loss streams draining away from the main flow. The remaining, reduced output stream represents a mathematical constant engineers call the return flow factor. This is the precise percentage of municipal water supply that returns as wastewater. Across various global engineering standards, this return factor consistently falls between 80% and 90% of the total water input. In standard design practice, engineers default to the 80% metric, establishing a reliable baseline. By tracking this missing 20%, engineers solve the mass balance equation and prevent the catastrophic overbuilding of the urban subterranean network. This equation illustrates the final calculation: population multiplied by LPCD multiplied by the return flow factor equals the base flow. Applying the 80% factor to our case study, 13.5 MLD times 0.8 yields 10.8 million liters per day, the minimum volume the network must transport. This mathematical result serves as the master specification for the city's entire subterranean infrastructure. That 10.8 MLD dictates the exact physical diameter of the sewer mains, the downward slope of gravity pipes, and the electrical horsepower of pumping stations. But establishing the exact sewage quantity is only the first half of the wastewater engineering process. The second, equally critical requirement is understanding the chemical and biological quality of those 10.8 million liters. As this split screen shows, while quantity dictates volume, quality refers to the physical, chemical, and biological profile of the organic matter mixed into that flow. This microscopic profile dictates the scientific treatment processes required before the water is safely released back into the environment. While macroscopic mass balance equations dictate the physical size and scale of the infrastructure, it is the microscopic characteristics of the sewage that determine the science of its treatment.